So we're going to do 20 minutes of some grind work, some like axle grinds. I was doing one the other day and I started to get it. It's only going like that far, you know. I'm probably really wrong that graffiti, or maybe at most half a slab. See where the crack line is to the crack line, or the there. And for this, you want to think of it like adding a little bit of a turn, so you're coming onto the coping. You get onto the coping, and then your position drags you along. That little turn that you did here. So yeah, you go up onto the ramp, start to turn the board so it comes on, gets on, a little bit more weight onto the heels, tiny bit on the toes to keep it from going out, and then you just slide it along. Yeah, so you're thinking axle, but at an ever so slight angle, and then let it slide along, keeping your weight on your heels. To get back in, if you've got it really nicely, you can get that back truck like 50-50 in. So you've still got a nice rock back in, so you get on and then kick turn it in so you don't hang up. But if you're learning, I like to get mine backed in, let it come to its own end, and then in. But there's a bit more of a risk of a hang up there. So my personal opinion, for my particular skill range and level, I'm not going particularly fast or doing anything particularly hard enough that requires me to wax the coping and leave it really slippy for someone else who's just starting to learn. Personal opinion, I like to just layer them back on the tracks, so it still gets that like less contact, a bit more slidey, but I'm not ruining the day. Well, not ruining, because if you're doing good things and you're trying to do like, you know, 5.0s or nose pick grinds or whatever, you need a bit more slidey, trying to do some nose slides or whatever, you need it more slidey for your skill there. But I don't need to do that, and the people that are probably going to use this later aren't going to. I am aware that by putting it on my trucks, an amount will go on the coping, because it, you know, transfer of contact sort of thing, but we're trying to go for as little of that as possible. Too much on the toe. Jumping off, need to stay on the board. A little bit. So that one had a lot better body position. I was standing up a lot more, still leaning in. I think I was too much like there. I was too much in the bowl. Not ready. Started to go feeble on that one. So a lot of the decisions are not being made by me, they're being made by where the board is and where my balance is, instead of me choosing to be up and standing, bringing it along and then putting it back in. It's more if my, you know, it's ifs and buts. If my balance is good, I can get it to go along, and if I've got the wheels in the right place, it'll go in. Where it should be, I'm up, I'm on, I want to go back in, not is it going back in. It should be I want to go back in, if that makes sense. You know, it's got to be a me decision, not a where the board is decision. And that comes with practice, and a lot of it is also down to the speed I'm carrying through. I'm going slow at the moment because I'm still learning this and getting it consistent, but when I get better at it and I've got that control of getting on 2, 3, into 3, then I can attack it faster. And I think the goal will be around the corner. Better, but I was leaning into the ramp a lot on that one, very bent over. That's a good one. Not quite so rock fakey, but So that last run, I got up to the start of the corner. So I came on where the crack is, got along to about here, I think. Well, that's where it felt at least, I'll have to watch it later. But that's definitely a good bit of progression there, Crystal Palace, because this particular end is definitely built for learning. Everything barring the taco, which isn't actually that bad. It's just, it looks and feels steeper and more vertical than it actually is. You know, it's one of those ones where you stand and you look down and you feel like you're on the Grand Canyon when you're not. It's not really much bigger than that. It just looks worse than it is. But like the coping here is really sort of flat too. Like there is a bit of a ridge, so the trucks do go on and off. But if you've got quite big thick wheels, they're still only just touch, which is good for learning. Like I'm glad that I'm not getting hung up or stuck or rolling out. It's a really good thing about this one. But on a few of those I'd got on, and if the coping was a little bit thicker, then I would have stayed on. I would have gone a bit wobbly, which isn't good. That's my fault. It's not the ramp's fault, it is mine. I need to get a bit more precision, like, you know, trucks down the middle or trucks on the back side of the coping. But that will come in time. But I feel if it was a little bit thicker, you know, then I would have stayed on, got on and carried on a bit more than just rolling off or going into that fakie, which I tried one and I couldn't do it.